a lot of our agents, some are parents or moms or dads that do a lot with kids. A lot of them are single. But to put into perspective, guys, the job can be done regardless of your situation. To put it into perspective, in 2023, her first full year on the job, she did about 200,000. 2 years ago, in 2024, she did about 274,000. And then her third year, which was last year, she wrote right around 300,000. So obviously a very, very talented salesperson. And when I was talking to her before, correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, you have always basically just done door knocking.
Yes, I have strictly door knocked for 3 years straight.
Nice. So you've got very, very thick skin.
Oh gosh, yes. Yes. You learn how to let it roll off your back very easily.
Awesome. Okay. And so you've worked everything from Google leads, check leads, mail leads. I think there's some leads from the Integrated Lead Center that you've worked for. So you've tried a number of different things, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on is over the last 6 weeks of production, which has really largely been 8 weeks, because I think there was about 2 weeks in there where you didn't really work. That's when you heard about our appointment setting program and you said, "Hey, I want to give that a try." And just for everybody on the call, what we're doing with Senior Select with those agents is we said, hey, if you're committed to buying, we wanted people to outside of Cardinal to try our appointment setting system, to see how it goes, because we've actually learned a lot from a lot of outside organizations. We're actually kind of it helps us fine tune what we're doing, because you're not always going to be the best at everything, and the best thing to do if you're not the best at everything is duplicate what others are doing. And so I just thought you've been doing really well. It'd be great to have you on. Your first week with 100 leads, though, of yes leads, was around 3,500-ish, 3,500 to 4,500. Your second week was right around 3,900. Your third week was 3,500. Your fourth week was 4,800. Your fifth week was 5,400. And then you actually made the decision to kind of step down from 100 leads down to 50. And that was last week, and you wrote 14,500. Is that correct?
I know it's actually comical. Like it really is. But yeah, that's correct.
Awesome. Well, the main thing I wanted to kind of ask you about is because we talked a little bit about before the call, when you're trying a new lead type, it is always nerve-wracking and anxious because you're used to one thing. After you've done it for weeks and months, you basically
Yes.
know everything that somebody's going to say at the door. You know the objections you're going to get. You know the specific problems with the not the problems with each lead, but you know the primary objections and how to respond and pivot. There's really no anxiety because you pretty much know what you're going to say regardless of the house. Um,
Right.
that being said, your production has gone largely linearly up with a giant jump last week. What have you learned? I guess the last 6 weeks, from your first 2, 3 weeks to the last 3 weeks, what have you learned about running appointments? Is there anything you were doing in the beginning that you've changed up and you're doing different on the actual appointments that have been set?
So for the appointments, they're I love them actually. I mean, because it's just so easy, and I just go up there and tell them, "Hey, I'm here for my appointment with you." And sometimes they're a little confused at first, but I mentioned how they talked on the phone or maybe received a text message, and they're like, "Oh yes, I remember you're supposed to be coming." So I love having an appointment. I've never worked by appointments ever, other than ones that I've set that I've door knocked and set an appointment with. So I've never had anyone set an appointment for me. So it's been really nice to, have that kind of, I like to call it like a cool down during the day, because, door knocking can be very draining. It's harsh. And so there's a lot of people out here knocking doors for the same thing you're out here knocking doors for, and for multiple other reasons too. So just because of that, people are going to be, very standoffish. So you have to, like you said, have thick skin. But with the appointments, that kind of gives you that break in the day because they know you're supposed to be coming. Like, this is cool. So yeah, I guess the only difference that I've kind of done is I have changed up my script slightly. And I mean, I get the gift card at the appointment, which I don't mind doing.
Okay.
At first, I didn't know how to handle the gift card, so, like, I was like, "Those," I was like, I didn't even get them because I wasn't aware of how much they would be expecting them.
Okay.
So the first week, I had to actually, like, send out gift cards to the people that I wrote because I just wasn't prepared, so I'm prepared for the gift cards now. I've pre-purchased them every Monday.